Oh no,
Oops.
I haven't joined stream yet.
Neither have I while I'm setting up certain things.
I just mute the Twitch when we play to avoid feedback.
Hello, and welcome to the Gentleman of Four Outs, Session 4, a diplomatic incident. Last time, our four gentlemen have discovered what seems to be the linchpin in a global conspiracy involving a mining conglomerate. Unfortunately, that was one of the diplomats of Japan and the brother of one of our gentlemen, Choju Giga. With his body no longer with us and his material effects still upon us, there are many questions, many of which cannot be answered yet. They rescued three captives, and now we're dealing with the aftermath of raiding a private factory and killing a diplomat. Chojo Giga, the personal effects that remain after the body vanished into the ephemeral of black are a journal, his blade, and his clothing, as well as a necklace that you remember distinctly. It was something that you gave him when you were children. For all his bitterness and resentment, he still had some feelings for you. His Waxasha that he's carried around for a very long time appears to have been encrusted with many strange birds. You almost don't recognize this sword, but you know it was his for quite some time. So, what shall you do?
Gather up the items and store them away. With particular sorrowness regarding the necklace, including a frown on its face.
Does the Waxasha at any point come anywhere near your sword?
No, I try to keep it away.
Understood. Add to your inventory unknown magical item. Then,
Right?
And as for you, Baron Berrycloth, you managed to loot a tome of a significant interest, as well as 2 keys that both slot into it effortlessly. Well, you would hazard to call them keys, as they kind of look more like lines that make up a key rather than a key itself.
Interesting.
If you hold them in a closed fist, it almost shifts in your grip. And if you put those 2 together, it shifts once more into what kind of looks vaguely like a cavalry saber.
Oh, interesting.
You don't feel any weight when you hold them in any of these capacities. Yet you feel an almost calculating presence of mind when they're held in such fashions. And lastly, before we get into currencies found on the premises, Jerry, you managed to cure 9 Oni masks. Though they might be of probably personal significance to Choju, you have elected to keep them, yes?
I'll still offer to give him. His brother didn't have one, did it?
No, but the Oni did.
He'll keep 2 or 3 and give the rest to Choju if he wants them. Choju Giga. Do these necessarily mean anything to you?
What are you asking about specifically?
The Oni masks.
They're usually the only solid part about that yokai.
Is that anything like a wraith?
Think of it as a creature of myth most of the time for you outside the region. But they've been native in some form or another in the region we're from.
Sure.
The problem is you're dealing with an evil one with that mask.
Yeah, Wendigos and whatnot. I guess I was more asking, did your brother used to run around with one of these or something?
No. Any mask that had the potential to get caught by a child's hands was usually purified.
Well, if Choju doesn't want them, I'll keep all 9 masks then, since I can use those.
Just watch it.
Yeah, he makes sure to put a cloth around each one.
You'll know one's becoming active again when you see that smoke.
Well,
You know what? On second thought, Mr. DM, make that 8 masks. He's gonna burn one into the guns.
Alright.
Well, as fascinating as an experience this has been, and as sorry as I feel for our poor Oriental friend over his brother's betrayal, we have made a lot of noise here, so would probably be best if we gather what we can, rescue the hostages, and get out.
You mean those hostages standing right there we just freed?
Well, yes.
So you're a reporter, are you?
Yes. Maynard responds.
Well, I think you and I are going to have some things to discuss when we get out of here.
Such as?
Hmm. Making sure that this incident harms the people that it should harm and doesn't get steamrolled by those who have an interest in it, not in its lack of exposure.
Well, I can certainly say that I learned enough to point fingers, yes.
And I think I have some things to add to that expose you're certainly going to be writing.
Yes, Lord.
And he's just, we'll not discuss it here. Let's go somewhere where we're not going to potentially get hurt by some fairies.
So I assume that means we're not going back to that club.
I was not going to go back to the bar, no. I don't know what our current situation is.
We're in a falling down factory, essentially.
That's kind of what I thought. Yes. So that's what Barry Cloth is doing. Is he's talking to the reporter.
As you wait for the electric storm just out of view to eventually end, you hear chiming in the distance.
Good chiming or please come help chiming?
The sounds of bobbies in blue coming to the scene.
That's what I was worried about.
He immediately looks to Barry Cloth. You own this place and we technically just save people, right?
My family owns this place.
How much do they like you?
Let's say that we have an agreement to cordially avoid fire breath at the family table.
Eller, let's go, boy. Everybody but me and Chojo on the damn elk. Let's go.
All right.
So I assume while we were waiting for the electrical storm to die down, we would have been able to get the worthwhile loot.
Indeed, at least from this room.
Good enough.
And a bolt.
With this in mind, you still have that the contents of the treasure chest in your pack, yes, Mr. Kobold?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Divide it among however many gems styles you sound fair to you. 10,000. Because I don't want to go through the entire list of types of gems right now. But I do know that I described it as mostly gems.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say that there's 10,000 gold worth of gems in there, and Barry Cloth will share it out equally as y'all's fee for your assistance in this investigation.
So that's what 2,500 gold worth of gems.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
That's the way I usually handle it. Is just like it is this much money worth of gems.
Indeed. As the electric storm finally evaporates and you can walk through, you get this far, if you see where I'm pinging.
We see a world map.
Oh dear, it seems I have neglected to do some things. I am sorry. You are here.
I get another one of those. Okay.
Now, where did you say we get to?
You get about here.
So up here.
Indeed.
Oh wait, you guys, did you revive me?
You weren't dead, but I assume we would heal you.
You were not dead. I know one of us stabilized you, so I'm sure we could have got you staggering at least.
So 1 HP then, got it.
And with this, you meet a white, snow white tiger in a fine blue finery. Oh dear, I completely forgot to do that. Pinning activate. Oh dear, it's not pinned. One moment.
Oh dear.
I had thought I pinned this. Ah, there we go. Took a bit longer than I was expecting, but here we are. You encounter this fine feline. Ah, hello, Baron. Are you in a spot of trouble?
And who is this person, if I may ask?
Roll nobility knowledge.
Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and roll that as it sits, even though I have not increased the amount yet. A 26.
26. This blue dapper tiger is the current headmaster of the Royal Academy of Occult Esoterica and Aetherology. He is also known as the Duke of Destiny, Rajan Salazar.
Okay, I'm gonna need a spell on that.
Rajan Salazar.
Salazar, okay.
He is from the colonies of India, but he speaks with a near perfect English accent. And with his finery, you can assume that he has been anointed noble true, despite his heritage.
Ah, Master Salazar. I must say this is an unexpected reunion.
Ah, yes, quite. It's not every day that's a factory working for the crown itself explodes from in a way that even people halfway to Yorkshire can see.
Ah, we weren't here, but I suppose it must have been quite the fireworks if it could be seen that far away.
Indeed. So tell me, pupil, what happened here?
Put it shortly, while this factory was indeed working for the Crown, and I have confirmed that, I also received evidence of foreign espionage taking place here. I thought it prudent, as my family owns the building and are loyal servants of the Crown, that I must investigate the possibility that someone in the Queen's very own confidence might be working to betray her.
Hmm. Rajan Salazar smiles at you. It's a very disquieting smile, almost like a predator to prey. But then it fades as he says, I see. Do tell.
Yeah. It appears that the factory was a trap set for me and perhaps this associate of mine. It appears the Empire of Japan is having some internal troubles.
That just won't do, now will it?
No, indeed, although the problem may have resolved itself. I was assaulted and defended myself as is my right.
Hmm. Is that so? By any chance, do you have a barrister on call these days, Baron Berrycloth?
Do I have a barrister on call? Give me but a moment, master. And I believe you shall see that I do. And Berrycloth will actually just snap his fingers. And you will all hear a rather, dowdy, very, well-dressed but dowdy man who seems a little put upon, pushing through whatever is outside. Whatever the fee for this man is, please deduct it from my secret plan fund.
You have magicked your way into having a teleporting fucking lawyer? Am I hearing that right?
Yes.
It's, let's just say that first level, cantrip wands are very cheap.
I don't get it, but okay. Very well. It seems magical to everyone besides you, but there is now a barrister, very put upon at your call.
Well, now that he is here, I suppose you can explain the reasoning for your request, Master.
Oh, I'm not asking for myself. I'm merely curious just how unfortunate the rest of this evening will be for you, my pupil. And with that, I must bid you adieu. He takes his cane, topped with a sterling blue crystal that seems to ebb slightly, twirls it around, and begins to walk away.
Do I recognize that object as possibly being magical?
Would you like to roll spellcraft?
Sure, let's roll spellcraft before he leaves. On a 14.
You recognize the ebb and flow of magic, yes?
Is my roll high enough to recognize the spell?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
But you do know that it is magic.
I don't necessarily want to let him walk away if he's casting spells, the thing, but at the same time...
Who is saying that he's casting a spell?
If I recognize the flow of magic, I'm assuming a spell.
Very well. As he walks out the almost destroyed doorway. Oops, so that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. As he walks out the more or less destroyed door, he turns around one last time, bows, and then vanishes into the wind.
As soon as he vanishes, Jerry pulls his gun out and was aiming where he was before. I should have shot him.
I don't think that would improve our lot very much.
But trust me, if you had tried to shoot him, you would be dead where you stand.
Yeah, the last guy that said that is about 6 feet under.
Actually, I take that back. You would not be dead where you stand. You would be dead in some other dimension, basically.
That one is in the sea.
Not sure if that's faith in you or not.
I think what I'm saying is the threat doesn't mean anything to me when I've killed people who can do that.
Let's not test our luck too much more for the night. Fortune favors the bold, I know, but perhaps this is a bit too much boldness for one evening.
Agreed. Let's get out of here before the damn law shows up.
And almost as if on cue, you see Chief Inspector of Scotland Yard right outside for you.
And immediately curses in Rougarou.
Hello. Good evening. I have to ask.
Good evening.
I have to ask, Baron, and assorted company to accompany me to the yard, please.
Well, of course. My barrister will be accompanying us, of course.
Very well, Baron. Oh, my bad, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Inspector Nostrad.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
Inspector Clouseau.
Nostrad.
Clouseau.
Nostrad.
Stop
I-
pulling his leg.
I'm serious. I'm hearing him say Clouseau. What is the problem here? He has a shit-eating grin. He absolutely is fucking with.
Man, take this jokester. And,
Hey, easy. I just fuck with people. I'm not any big. Look. He even pulls out. What does he have besides his guns? Because he really does not want them taking his guns.
Do you have an ID?
I mean, I think we all probably have passports.
Barry Cloth is just going to interpose himself and say, Gentlemen, we are going to go to the yard, and we are going to sort this out. And you are going to refrain from being any smarter than you think you are.
He just keeps wearing the shit-eating grin.
Is that even a high bar to beat?
Now, Inspector, I do apologize for the behavior of my associates. Let us proceed and get this nasty business sorted out as quickly as we can.
very well. This will have to work as an interim placemat for this.
It is black.
I hate dynamic lighting. Why are these automatically dynamic lighting?
Do you have a sub?
There we go. Do you see it now?
Yep.
Yes. We see it now.
This map will have to work as an interim temporary for a while.
It's alright.
And with that,
I mean, this looks.
you all find yourself at Scotland Yard, the world's most infamous and perhaps famous investigative arm of the law. Inspector Lestrade begins slowly filing you all into assorted and the office and speaks frankly with you. I'll be honest. This doesn't look good. Even slightly. For any of you. You were looking for a diplomat who has gone missing. You were found at the scene of an exploding factory. And many of you have been assorted dealings with Madame Jo of all people. This doesn't paint a very innocent picture. You realize this, right?
Nor do what we find inside paint a picture either.
Y'all say dealings. I say forced to work for free.
Don't even start. No smart-ass comments out of you.
Let me stop. I do not know this. Madame Jo? Did you say?
I'm not even going to start on that one.
Zhao?
I'm not familiar with this person. These three, these two, and he points to the pirate and the, Jerry. These two are investigators that I commissioned to look into a few matters. This individual is a member of the Japanese delegation. As you can imagine, he was very concerned about the disappearance of his brother and a fellow member of the delegation. That is
No.
why we...
This just keeps getting better.
Whatever dealings were had with this Madame Zhao were likely because I allowed these two investigators to do as they required to gather the information necessary.
We also found evidence of 3 people kidnapped and a lot of dead bodies.
The kidnapped individuals, I believe we've rescued, and I'm sure you can you can question them as to what happened before we arrived.
Inspector
Can't imagine it.
Nastad leans over, almost doing a U-turn with his body to get as close to your ears as possible, Baron, over the desk. And he says very hushedly, I don't normally say such things, Baron, but if I was you, I'd be considering taking an express pass onto a boat as soon as possible. I don't really... It doesn't really matter what I report here. You're very much fucked.
Sense motive? What is his A game here?
Roll it.
I'm gonna try too.
I guess I'll throw in a sense motive here as well. It's not my best, but I'll toss it.
Jerry, you believe he's playing a long con, but Captain Pierre and Baron Cyril Berrycloth. So, he's very, very intense at this moment, and he's being very frank with you. All of what he writes in this report will be intentionally misconstrued to your detriment, and he is genuinely telling you to flee the country as soon as possible.
Jerry's gonna start growling under his throat, but he won't say anything unless Barry Cloth or anyone else really gets involved.
Well, I suppose it might be in the best interest of everyone if your reports were creatively delayed.
Alright, Baron. I think I can manage that.
I have one more question. Is this just my brother? Or is the kingdom itself involved?
I'm afraid I can't indulge that inquiry. But I can tell you that you've kicked up a hornet's nest of positively fallen god proportions. I'm afraid.
Goodness. Well, I shall have to make some arrangements.
I can give you a 4,800 hours from now, and that is all I can do.
I have to work quickly then, but that will be, I think, more than enough time to set all of the affairs in order that I need and make myself scarce. Inspector, I am eternally grateful for your discretion and your advice. I'll see to it that your name is well praised when whatever comes out of this eventually shakes down.
Well, what can I say? I am a man of the law, and even when the law doesn't work, I still have to abide it, at least a little bit.
Yes, well, it seems one can always count on it to work when the law doesn't.
Righto.
Bothersome as that is to say.
Well, I suppose I'll give my statements. The Barry Bluestone Company, which is owned by my family but does not have any oversight by me, and barely any oversight by my family, it seems, appeared to have had dealings with a member of the Japanese delegation, and in particular one Choju Dote. This man also had dealings with the Amalgamated Society of Engineers, from whom a load of onyx ore was stolen, bound for a terrorist attack somewhere in America, and eventually used here in a very poor manner. That's one place you could deflect an investigation if you feel the need. In the interest of expediency and the urgency with which the brother of the diplomat requested I act, I decided it expedient to investigate on my own terms rather than involve the Yard. And I apologize to you, Inspector, for that. We found evidence of unauthorized experimentation in the factory, constructs being used and in unauthorized manners, and were attacked quite brazenly by the diplomat in question.
I see.
My companions did what they had to defend themselves, and unfortunately, that ended poorly. That alone, I'm sure, is going to cause a diplomatic incident.
And that's without getting into details of the worst.
Diplomatic incident? Sir, Baron, this is the least diplomatic incident I've ever heard of.
You don't know yokai then.
He just side-eyes you.
I find that diplomatic incidents rarely are.
To be fair, a lot of diplomatic incidents in America also come with guns. I think our last president was one in a duel, actually.
Let's avoid that topic for now.
Indeed, I've always wanted to visit America. Perhaps to start a factory. Perhaps start a silk exporting business there.
No, I've heard it's a good. I hear it's a good vacation spot in some areas.
Seems a fine time for a trip.
Trust me, silk will dry up real fast.
And Mr. Jerry, do you have anything to add to the ideas of where to flee to? You did come to Europe for a reason.
I did. The bigger question is, I fled America, right?
Indeed.
We're not going to America, and I doubt Mexico's a smart idea either. What's France like?
France is in the middle of mass restructuring and political instability between royalists, republicists, and outright socialists.
I hear they're trying to decide whether they should have an emperor, a president, or no one.
Huh. Sounds like my kind of place.
Sounds like a major issue.
It's an absolute tea kettle of factional disputes and reckless hedonism. It'd be the perfect place to disappear into. And
take-
I'm certain I still have a few friends there.
I take it back. It sounds like home.
I'm not even gonna follow that up. You crazy gunslinger.
Yes, well.
And
So Baron Barracloth is actually going to hop up on the desk and put his tiny hand on the inspector's shoulder. Inspector, I know that you are most loyal to the law, but I would hope that in our long relationship, I can trust that you are also a loyal servant of the crown. I trust that you'll do what needs to be done to see the nation through this.
Very well.
Do you want me to roll diplomacy to flatter him?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. Let us roll diplomacy. Let me
Reminder.
actually put a point in that before we do that.
Reminder: the token needs enlarged.
And not for these purposes. We
Okay,
can't-
I'm rolling all the 10s today, apparently.
Jesus. I was going to suggest helping, but I just realized I have no diplomacy.
He stutters out a light chuckle and says, "Don't worry about it. Honestly, I would be more worried about your circle than my end of things. I could have swore I saw a Rajan walk in and walk out almost as quickly before I encountered you."
Oh, you know him, the master of the occult, likes to keep his secrets.
Do be careful with that one. I know that you respect him as a colleague and as a superior, but
Let us just say that I respect him the way I respect my brother, the Duke.
you mean your grandfather?
I'm sorry, I've been getting that mixed up.
No, that
It's a
seems in
long day.
character.
Yes. Let's just say I respect him the same way I respect my grandfather, the Duke.
At a distance and with peril. Am I not wrong? Hello?
Hello.
You speak truly as anyone, Inspector. Now, I trust I've satisfied your curiosity and the requirements of the yard. If you don't mind, I have a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. And he looks pointedly at the inspector.
Alright. So, I take it that I will be turning around now, yes?
Oh, yes, that is a mighty beautiful piece of wall you really should admire for, let's say, the next 5 minutes, sir.
Naturally. And he just smiles before he turns around, and he taps his toes for each second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6,
Let's go.
7,
So
8,
we're just
9.
We're gone.
we're leaving at this point, right?
Yep, we're collecting the elk. We're getting the hell out of Dodge.
All
We're,
right.
we're catching a boat to France.
So I have a few things to do first. One, I need to talk to that reporter. And basically, what I want from him is if he's able. Basically, I wanted to spin this story as much as I can in a particular way. I
Mhm.
want the news. I want the news to absolutely get out. I want the Barrycloth family to be directly implicated in the Barry Bluestone incident, and I want the. Basically, I want Dote
Hmm.
not blamed. Basically, I want this whole thing to be a piece about sensational tragedy.
I see.
Basically, the whole incident was a Japanese diplomat using the company and the Barrycloth family holdings as a way to take basically as a way to um, create the conflict between himself and Choju, who I'm going to tell him to mention is now missing.
I see.
And basically, uh, basically just implicate as much as possible the Verycloth family as a whole, not mentioning specific people, and also the Japanese delegation without making it look like without making it look like we're blaming Japan.
All right. And
And
he listens to you as deeply as possible, writing things down, omitting some things.
Do I need to roll anything for this interaction?
I would like you to roll intimidate.
You want me to roll intimidate? All right.
Soma, we can see what you recently downloaded.
Oh dear.
Oh wow, I'm going to use my daily reroll on that, please.
Very well.
Okay, that's marginally better.
He nods along and he gets the idea that this would be very bad to get out, and he does the cover up.
This is not. I'm not actually creating a cover up here. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to actually put as much of this onto specific parties as possible that are already implicated.
Makes sense.
Ooh, trying to fully get the blame.
Yeah, this is the opposite of the cover up of a cover up. This is a expose.
It is
But he with
being
a spin.
it is being directed. He is being spin doctored. Yes.
Mm-hmm. It is probably going to be bad for this reporter ultimately. And very Cloth will even just say, this whole incident appears to be something of great import. I feel it's the duty of any good citizen to make sure that it is as brought to light as it possibly can be. I also know, I also know that it is going to be dangerous for all involved. It might be to your credit to do some overseas journalism once you've published this piece.
He reads between the lines and says, "Ah, um, might I accompany you? I don't really have anywhere else I could stay, realistically."
We'll be leaving tomorrow. If you can push the pace out that quickly, you'll feel free.
He immediately fucking jumps out of the window with his fucking suitcase in tow. You don't need to tell him twice.
Having a journalist that owes you his ass is a very good thing in
Yes, it is.
Victorian England.
Yes, it is. Good kobold.
Other than that, he's going to go and he's going to quickly review his company, the silk company that he owns, and he's going to make a few strategic business transfers of some of the ownerships to individuals that he can trust and or that may or may not be him under other names.
Spoken like a true gentleman thief. Very well.
And the whole thing is going to be written down as, in the wake of the incident, certain aspects of the Barraycloth family investments have had to be reshuffled and sold off.
I see. Very well.
And then we're going to find a way to get the fuck out of town.
Did we mention the pirate has a big ship?
I was just about to mention that. You don't need to look anywhere for your way out of the country. My crew and I can take you to any port in Europe that we haven't already been banned from.
Who mean I can fit on the ship?
So the Black Sea then, got it.
You would be surprised how easy it is to disguise a ship as another ship. Just change a few lines, repaint a few things, fly a different flag, and presto, what ship?
Oh, I do hear the new Roman Empire is doing quite well. An exotic tale to tell when we get back.
Well, we'll just have to see what the crew is feeling like. I don't have much other business here. We're all provisioned up and ready to go. We can buy more supplies and fence these gemstones in whatever port we make it to. I've got friends here and there all across the world.
If we really get in a bind here in Europe, I hear they're still doing the good old letter of marque over in India.
I wouldn't know much about that, but interesting. Well,
You've never done any privateering? I commend you for your independence, but that was a big moneymaker for many pirates.
Well, what can I say? I don't think my crew would much prefer working for a government.
Unfortunately, it's sort of the only way to do it these days. It's so locked down, the trade routes are.
Perhaps you're right. Yes, I'll raise it with the crew. In any case, you all know that hidden cove where we met the crew last time. That's where we could be waiting to pick you up. And then we can be out of there in no time.
Very well. Maynard, is just still. As you say all this, you hear Maynard's labored breath from distances away. He's clearly booking it way faster than he should, if you can hear him from all the way over here.
Maynard is the reporter, right?
Yes.
And as for the barrister, he is actually going to give the barrister the wand of message that he used to summon him, and say, well, I suppose this ends our contract, as I can't very well expect you to follow me to foreign lands when your expertise is in British law. And to save Soma having to make up a character on the spot, the barrister is just going to like take it, nod, and leave.
I see. Very well.
Wands of 0 level spells are very cheap.
Oh yeah,
What
no.
did
That's how you
what
make
did you
money.
pick up?
My secret plan fund allows me to basically pull out any item out of the secret stash that I have. That is just a pool of money. And so I had 400 gold pieces in there, and I pulled out a 375 gold piece wand of message to summon a barrister, the service of which is about 10 gold pieces.
Hmm.
Message is always a good spell.
Very well. And with this all said and done, Choju, as you're getting ready to leave the country along with everyone else, has at any point the two blades intersected at any point during your preparations?
Possible they could when I was bandaging up, as I was more concerned about, not bleeding out, which is realistic considering I got 1 HP and everything.
Very well.
So
One moment. While I can handle you with Barnabas in a moment, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the queue, that's all that matters.
Do give me a moment while I dig something up real quick. Vanguard,
Hmm?
please do me the courtesy of intentionally ignoring what the item actually is. And keep in mind that your weapon now has something similar to this that I will go into later.
So ignore what is detailed about it because it's actually now my weapon.
So,
it it
ignore what this object actually is according to this description, and
is
Okay.
ignore what it flavor texted as, and ignore what it's flavored as at the moment.
Ignore the flavor
he's
text, and description.
so he's using it as a proxy for something else because it has the same ability, but it's not what you actually have.
Got it.
Because I don't have the time to actually write that out and redesign it at the moment. But that is basically what your sword is now capable of doing in roundabout ways.
Alright then.
I will need to adjust its scaling to reflect Pathfinder rules, but aside from that, it's fine.
So deal with that out of game. Got it?
Yes. Your as you, Vanguard, shuffle around your effects and the blades do eventually collide with each other, your katana that is actually rather oversized, even by other people's standards, starts glowing various shimmers of colors.
Hmm?
When you're upset and angry, it glows red, yellow for fear, purple for when you're in an amorous persuasion, shall we say. and many other colors as your mood shifts. You don't know what has transpired with your blade, but you do know that it reacts to your emotional states and to that around you.
Noted.
And with that, Jerry, you've been trying to get to Scandinavia for a while, haven't you? This sounds like a very good opportunity to do so, on someone else's dime for a change. Do you wish to broach this topic with your companions of misfortune? Commodore?
I'm sorry, somebody was asking me something. I didn't hear you say that. That was for Jerry. Scandinavia, you said?
Yes.
Why am I trying to get to Scandinavia?
Did you not read any of...
I might be very brain dead right now.
And if you, yeah,
So,
if he has one of those moments.
I will type this out privately.
Did you type it out privately to me once before?
It was on your character sheet. But
Give me a second. I should be able to find it.
under the bio section.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember now. Uh, Once that kind of dawns on him, he'll be like, you know, I've always heard Scandinavia is kind of nice too. A lot of cold, a lot of unexplored. Nobody's gonna go looking there, right?
Hmm. That is, you do make a good point.
Do you know? Do you know why they put unique symbols on all of their ships?
What kind of symbols now?
It's so that Tavina can Scandinavian.
Did you really just do that?
He just looks confused between the two of y'all. Wait, I missed what kind of symbols he said. What's he talking about?
I think it was a joke.
I didn't get the joke then.
Oh, don't worry about it. Scandinavia is a bit cold this time of year, but you know, who wants to be wandering around in the middle of the cold, right? Looking for people that they can't find.
He just looks at you, flicks his big, fluffy Rougarou tail across your face, and is like, what cold?
And with that,
And in response, Berrycloth just lets out a lick of flame. What's cold indeed?
do you flick out that little tongue of fire as his tail is still there?
Entirely intentionally.
Do you have a reaction to your tail being slightly singed?
Is it singed or lit on fire?
It is just slightly singed.
Are you wearing a hat of any kind?
No, I am not.
Then he'll just take his boot and not so much like he's trying to trip you, but he'll sweep the cane out from under you.
Berrycloth is just going to go, whoop, watch out, this thing's still loaded.
Oh shit! And he like immediately makes sure to catch it at the last second on the tip of his shoe.
Berrycloth just grabs it back and says, and he draws it out of he draws out the sword and clicks the trigger and it goes click. Thanks.
and he immediately has a gun shoved up against his throat. Never, ever joke about that shit. And you hear his eye is just whirling really, really, really fast right now. You're gonna own a gun. You're gonna respect it, not make a joke. And you see the hammer drop. Click. Understood, boy.
Are you doing this in public?
I assumed that we were maybe not like right on top of people. I assumed this was like at the cove. We were showing them where the cove is.
Or in like an alley somewhere. Like, yeah, we're not doing this kind of thing in public.
It's already bad enough that Scotland Yard's going to be after us. I don't want the bobbies chasing me actively.
I was like, hold up, are you doing this in public? I was like, that's very bad.
Yeah, no, this is not in public.
Alright, so you're at the cove.
Yeah.
With
And
this in
very-
mind,
Yeah, very cloth, just totally like stone eye, just staring right down the barrel of your gun. Not one for jokes. Understood.
Not ones that involve the powder. And he slowly puts it away and kind of storms back off to town.
Well, in any case, since we are going to Scandinavia, I suppose I'll inform our navigator.
While you're at it, you'd best make sure your powder hold is properly covered. Though don't think he'll take that one lying down either.
You hear him say is he just yells, "Magazine!"
Don't worry, Francois takes his role as of gunnery officer very seriously.
and with that, and the party breaking down into composite parts, Jerry, you go to find Barnabas, yes?
Yes.
The lights are on, or rather a single candle at the doorway, but the door says closed. It is the evening after all.
Does it look like this would be the kind of place that he would be living upstairs?
You see several candles up there that are lit.
Let's see if it holds true here too. And he'll give like a series of just knocking several times on the.
You hear as a series of very sluggish, heavy footsteps. Thump, 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 thump. As you finally, eventually start to see him at the edge of where the staircases begin to be on this floor that you're on, you hear a loud click sound coming from the staircase as you hear the words in the most proper sounding British voice, "Oh shit!" And he starts tumbling down the
Jerry
stairs.
jump.
And then he starts stumbling down the stairs. This old ass man.
Oh no.
Oh shit. I didn't hear an explosion from the click, right?
Nope. Just him falling down the stairs. Halfway down.
Oh crap. And I don't know how to pick locks. Is there an alley right next to this that I can run around back?
Oh. That's a
Or
good
are there too many buildings?
it's a good thing that I'm like this. And He gets up. You hear crackling, and it slowly stops. Crickle, 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 crickle. And after a while, it's silent. And whoever is doing the feedback,
That's Suko's. He walked away again. If he doesn't hear him get up after more than a minute, he'll try to. He'll try to.
as you start slamming into the door, I presume, you start seeing him shift violently into a very large bestial form, and then shift back down to a diminutive, tiny old man.
The whole time he's hitting against the door, he's yelling for Barnabas because he thinks that he thinks something actually has happened to him. Barn?
Oh, the American friend. You didn't see that, did you?
See what now? He's obviously saying that he's not going to tell anything about it.
Nothing. So, as he, goes to the door and unlatches it,
He's back, by the way.
what can I do for you this late at night, my friend?
Trust me, I wouldn't normally disturb you this late, but looks like I'm going to be taking a trip a bit further north, so I thought I'd come and thank you again for that book and just tell you that, if I'm ever back in town, maybe we can compare notes and see how things have changed with me.
Very well. Oh, and, since you're heading up north, was it?
Mm-hmm.
One of my colleagues, a, biomancer, I believe, good friends of mine, asked for a gentleman by the name, Brander. Dr. Brander. Last name Lund?
What'd you say? Last name what?
Lund.
Okay.
He might be able to look at that eye of yours if you're there for a while.
He's a grafter, is he?
Biomancer, but if that's the term you wish to use, I won't judge. I've heard stranger ways of describing that profession, yes.
Yeah, like the Indonesian deification. Never mind. Again,
He looks
thanks.
He looks at you, narrows his eyes. You went from very, very undignified to very classy and well educated in a matter of seconds. That is unusual.
I've always picked up on topics a little quick, I guess.
If that is all, and you're just here to thank me, I would like to very much go to bed.
Of course, of course. Just out of curiosity, do I know what happened to him there for a moment?
Every one of the new races knows of a phenomenon known as lycanthropy. The skinnies still have a portion of them that can temporarily shift into a bestial primal form. It is still frowned upon, even if most of them have full control over it, mostly because it blurs the line between.
All right. As he starts to walk away, he'll, simply because there's no chance we're probably going to do this on the damn water, I say that now. He's going to Rougarou transform into his wolf form and look back to him for a moment before darting off. Kind of like a one secret for another type thing.
He nods his head and he immediately turns around, turns off the candle up downstairs so that no one else bothers him tonight. And you see him take a deep breath. And he walks back up the stairs.
And just because this can last for a while, and let's face it, when you have shit like this, sometimes you just want to use it, he's just going to run back to the ship like this.
Describe what you look like in primal form, i.e. 4 legs.
I don't think I look like a dire wolf normally, do I? I just look like a normal ass wolf.
I'm making the assumption that your effects shift with you. That's why I'm asking how it looks like.
Oh, I assumed it was like a clothes go into the body like a druid.
I kind of didn't make that assumption, so just describe it.
Okay, I guess that they see effectively a wolf running around with a man's hat and clothes kind of rattling on his body, yet not somehow not falling off of him.
Beware the dog with this iron on his hip. Dun.
Big iron, big iron.
This is the scuffiest of scuff streams I've ever done, and I love it.
I just have to point out that in that song, you are not the ranger.
Fuck off.
Huh. Anyway, as you all reform back to the cove, do any of you bring on any more heavy personal effects onto the rather big boat, might I say?
I mean, there's a whole ass elk.
Like any shrines, any furniture, anything that you're bringing with you that's heavier than conventional?
No.
Berrycloth is bringing a small but varied wardrobe, and that's kind of all about it. He's not actually bringing a wardrobe, as in the piece of furniture. He's just bringing several sets of clothes.
So,
And
I don't know, like a steamer trunk full of outfits.
Vanguard, or should I say Choju?
He walked away for like a minute.
Very well. With this, we're going to take a minor break.
from who I was. Now I've become something new, someone who I was would know this place I found somewhere in the clouds, falling down. Am I free to believe all I can be is whatever I conceive in the forest for the trees? More than anything I see, my reflections all deceive. When the waters fall to seethe, my grief, I need to
Correct? Yeah. Alright. We're back. So, Vanguard, do you have any, like, really heavy personal effects that you are trying to get on the ship is what I need to know?
Not anything aside from what I'm already carrying, I believe.
So, not your shrine, not your altar, nothing?
I carry both of those around.
I keep forgetting how strong you are. Alright.
Yeah, it's the consequence of having 23 strength.
Also large size.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, with that all said and done and all cleanliness situated, you all meet up in the cove and you're all ready to set sail. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes. I suppose. Pierre will be there to greet his new crew members. With several of his current crew standing around. Ah, so good to see you all made it. Ah, I assume you're all ready to leave.
Just, just please point me to a spot I can rest.
I think. I think you're a bit bigger than some of the beds we have aboard, but I'm sure we can get something nice set up for you in the cargo hold. Just speak to Petrov, the quartermaster. He'll be able to figure out something.
All right then.
Yeah. Mozzie, my dear boy, did you look up some maps to Scandinavia like I asked you?
Ah, yes, Captain. Mm-hmm. Um, are you sure this is a good I mean, half the crew uh don't have fur.
Well, do you think we're going to be going there all one trip? I'm sure we'll be able to stop in another port along the way to pick up some warm clothes.
Alrighty. uh
Trust, trust me, dear boy. Everything is going to be just fine. He says, going in to pinch my cheek.
Hi. Captain.
Yeah, yes, that's a good lad. Get the navigation charts ready, and we can meet in private later.
Warm weather clothes. I don't know if I have enough for your entire crew, but I did bring some. I'm afraid they're all my size, though.
Uh,
He says Baron Berrycloth, dragging aboard a kobold-sized steamer trunk.
I I appreciate
I
I appreciate the offer, dear Baron, but I don't. We haven't had anyone that size on this ship for a while.
Uh, well, I don't know who you're calling Baron. I am Sir. I am Sir Knightley Witherspoon. Now, I've come to Scandinavia seeking a business opportunity.
know what he's doing.
Cover identity, smart. I think you've done this before.
Francois looks at the tiny kobold, looks at you, Captain Pierre, looks back at the kobold. And why are we sheltering a dandy again?
Choice of words, my friend.
Oh, I doubt he'd be offended being called a dandy. Well, I believe that all of us are well wrapped up in the same ordeal, and well, I'll tell the truth. This lot have been well quite useful and clever so far. So I figure why not bring them aboard? And besides, perhaps we might even be able to I'll solicit a token fee in return for our transit services. I mean, besides, we all need to get out of here.
You cut off there, my man.
He was gonna say anyway.
I said, we all need to get out of here. Why not just let him come along?
Valentina Knox looks onto into the distance and says, "Hey, Captain, what's with that tomcat skulking around in over there? You expecting other people besides these four?"
Oh yes, actually, that lad'll be coming too. He got embroiled in the same oh, spot of trouble we did.
He's finished already.
I suppose he is.
Wow, dude works fast.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll be able to find something for the lad to do. Like, perhaps he can work with the bookkeeping.
He is a reporter, so he knows how to read and write.
So, Mr. DM, as far as how Rugeroo transformation works, it says it works like B shape, and B shape works that way in wild shape. So, I guess it depends on if you think a druid's clothes vanish or not.
Holy moly, where are you?
Again, I've been in a freaking kitchen for 6 months. I don't have a choice in that.
Yeah, the family and everything.
We are all very loud. I'm sorry.
Oh, by the way, we didn't transfer again.
Yeah, we can't see the boat scene.
I don't know if there is one.
One moment.
There is.
I am sorry. I'm just all kinds of scuffed today, apparently.
Don't worry about it. Everyone's got their down
Fine, it
days.
happens.
Anyway, so So Spiro and Baptiste say, okay, so what is the big guy and the tiny guy good for?
Well,
I know you don't keep people around just to be poofters.
The Baron Berryclaw. Actually, let me make sure I have this. The Baron Berryclaw says, I don't. Well, I'm not very insulted by being called a dandy. I have more skills than just that, he says as he flicks out his little packet of concealable thieves' tools. And while I've not exactly been a sailor before, I'm not unfamiliar with how ships work.
well, the small one's good at magic, and the big one hits like a train.
I also can do some magic, although it's mostly supportive.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we have a giant catman, a kobold aristocrat, some Yankee, a reporter,
Don't forget his mount.
an elk, Petrov takes his weird floppy lizard ear that looks like a frill, reaches down and grabs it, and forcefully forces it into his mouth and just starts biting as hard as possible.
Wait, what does he bite?
His ear. He's chewing on his own ear for some reason.
Nervousness.
This is not a good arrangement. Had I known you would be bringing such types of people along, I would have prepared but different things.
I would not worry.
Eh.
I'll
Well,
stay out of your way.
Well, like I said, we can't. It's not like we're going to be able to head directly there. I'm sure we can stop in another port along the way to pick up more supplies. And besides, we all just got a bunch of gems that we need to fence anyway, so that's more money coming in.
Once we find a place to trade the gems in, that is.
Correct.
Hmm.
I mean, come on now, lads, and Viola, trust Valentina. You know that I wouldn't just bring anyone aboard the ship now, at least not in circumstances like this.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Ex,
Connor pipes
excellent.
up and says, "Come on now, don't you all be a fucking bunch of sourpusses. That's my job. I'm the fucking cat here. Well, one of the cats now, I guess."
Main cat?
Well, we're going to have another cat now that our dear reporter's coming.
Tigers are not cats. They were just related, barely. Whatever.
It's weird how Americans keep thinking that. And just side glances at the gunslinger.
What you side glance, unless I couldn't have made it there in under 5 minutes, is not a man.
Oh dear.
That is up to the DM if I could have made that distance in under 5 minutes.
You are still puppy.
Yeah, what you side glance next to the elk is in fact not a man. It is a large timber wolf, essentially.
Huh. That's new. Wish you could have done that earlier.
Mm-hmm. And he looks at what should be a hand and realizes, and just kind of puts his paw on his nose.
Did you
Secret's out.
did you boop yourself?
No, I did the layover one, the one where like they're trying to be shy.
Ah.
Oh boy.
So
And he's gonna walk.
So you are Turbo Buppy.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it gets up and walks past some barrels, and then you just see Jerry kind of rise up from behind the barrels. Yeah, I forget I can do that sometimes. It's murder on the back.
And you complain about the elk.
He looks at the elk for a moment and is like, he's designed to do that. I'm not really supposed to do that normally.
You're carrying the kobold next time.
Like hell I am. I got a perfectly good elk for that.
Not that I would agree to it anyway. We'd have to take you to the salon first.
Hey, watch it. I ain't got fleas or some shit. I know what a bath is. Jesus. You think we're all freaking... Never mind.
And you bathe the elk?
Yes, he takes baths weekly. The elk just stands there and sticks its tongue out. But
I think he's mocking you.
Indeed,
No.
Should have to refrain from my usual method of cleanliness. Burning away the dirt is not great when it's here.
It's murder on the fur.
What the hell is wrong? He just looks at our not horseman. What the hell is wrong with these two?
I'd say the better question is, what's wrong with us as a group?
Wait, what do you mean what's wrong with what, too?
He's referring to me in the kobold, I think.
The tiger and the kobold burning dirt. Do they not know what a bath is? I would expect the noble would.
Oh, well, I'm certain they'll have to learn. That's one of the rules here aboard my ship. We bathe regularly. We're not like those other pirates you might have heard about.
Like
Yeah.
daily, semi-daily, weekly?
Weekly, at least.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no offense. I'm sure the sea does not work well as a cologne.
Yes. And don't worry, I take a very personal interest in making sure all my crew members are clean.
Oh, that's a relief.
I'm not gonna comment on that at all.
Then
Pretend I never heard it.
Are you even...
don't be relieved yet, big man. I just suspect you weren't in the cellar of that bar for the same reason some of us were.
I don't even remember, for that matter.
You know, now that I think about it, I do have one serious question. What town are we in again?
London.
Whitechapel.
We're in merry old England. We're in merry old London, dear boy. And we are staying in Whitechapel, which is perhaps the most unfortunate. I believe we're in the Thames. We're at the shore of the Thames now.
Well, the thing is, and this has been confusing me for about 3 days now, how the hell did I get to London when I made port in, I believe y'all call it, Southampton?
I don't know, you'd be surprised how far you can travel when you're piss drunk.
I'm pretty sure that. I'm just thinking that that's a distance, ain't it?
More mysteries.
All depend on the crew, I think. Different skills and whatnot. Besides, let's just get on. The longer we wait, the longer I risk blood soaking through these bandages.
Oh yeah, did nobody heal the damn tiger?
Don't worry, I still have my healing magic. I can patch you up on board.
And I can heal myself, but I'm almost dry to begin with.
He just huffs, goes and gets some of his alchemical components, and starts to do normal healing. Can I roll a heal check, please?
You may.
God! What a time!
And that's without putting points in it.
Indeed, I think we were in too much of a hurry to. I was in too much of a hurry to truly focus on your care, Fred.
I wasn't worried. At least you guys didn't get stabbed.
Are you doing a short term or long term?
I assume he's done the short-term care already, so I'm setting up for long-term to make sure he
Yeah.
doesn't get infected.
The bandages are short-term at best.
Alright, that succeeds the check, so...
It means I won't bleed out now, basically.
I don't
You
remember.
weren't gonna bleed out before. You were magically stabilized.
I don't remember what the experience, the health ratio per hit die that equals up to.
It depends on what healing rules you're using. There's a few differences. The important part is Jerry's just trying to make sure he won't get sick.
I do know for
Yeah, because that's a threat.
I do know that you don't have the healing unlock, whereas a certain kobold does. So I don't know what the base rules do.
What healing unlock?
He's probably referring to medicine.
The skill unlock for healing.
Oh.
For the heal skill. Skills. Heal.
I didn't realize we were using Unchained.
I'm the only character who has an Unchained class.
Thus, he has Unchained rules on him only.
Okay, so treating deadly wounds, which I was wrong the last time I did this, it actually takes it takes an hour to do.
Which we can just say we did so on board.
Yeah, so it takes an hour to do, and I'm gonna take a -4 from for this check.
All right.
Even taking a -4, I still pass the check. That's ridiculous.
22, yeah.
Is it? Oh, I see. Okay. So
And since you have
that's a
points
30.
in heal, you can help, I wager.
Alright, so treating deadly wounds, an hour, restores 1 hit point per level of the creature, so 5. I've exceeded... What is the DC for this, actually? Treat
20.
deadly wounds is 20, so I've exceeded it by 10. So I add my wisdom modifier, which is 5, so you gain 5 extra hit points. Okay, so within 20, okay. Never more than once per day. And then Unchained, I have 5 ranks Unchained. You also recover hit points and ability damage as if you had rested for a full day on top of that.
But the full rest period.
Jerry immediately starts pointing off the side of the boat.
That was not intended.
Okay, I was about to say.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So let's see. You will gain your level plus 5 plus rest for an entire day.
I don't know what an entire day would be.
Natural. That's not what I wanted. Monster rolls fast healer.
I think regardless, since I'm providing you with long term and he's doing deadly wounds, we're basically taking a long rest at this point.
Yeah, in that little spot I could get for me. No pun intended.
So in addition to what Berry Claw's giving you, you'll also get 2 extra hit points per level while we're doing the 8 hours long term.
I think a long rest, which is what this would qualify as, is relevant to my hit die.
Yeah, so no, it's hit points, not your hit die.
For the class or total?
You just recover 2 hit points. You recover 10 hit points.
That token works, by the way.
Okay.
What'd you say, Commodore?
In addition to what Berry Claw's giving you, you get 10 hit points out of Jerry.
Alright. Oh, take care of that. Yeah, and I think I can top myself off with my remaining spell slots.
As if it had rested for a full day. So a full day of rest will give you 1 hit point times your character level. So you will gain a
Fuck.
total of 15, I believe. 15 hit points back.
Plus, according to him, a 10.
So 25.
So with the both of us,
Hmm.
yeah. And then long-term care for 8 hours is you recover at twice the normal rate for your resting, so you'll get another 10 points for the day.
Since I rest, I believe that fills my slots.
And if you still need hit points healed, there are a few other things we can do.
52 is the max, currently at 36.
Alright, I'm going to use one of my mental focus points.
And
And-
according to what I remember, I have 5 first level, 1 second level.
So I have to look this up real quick. That's annoying. Here we go. So I'm going to use the Conjuration Focus power, Flesh Mend. As a standard action, I expend 1 point of mental focus to heal a living creature with a touch. The creature is healed an amount of damage equal to 1d8 plus your cultist level. So it'll be 1d8 plus 5.
Very well.
And I will keep doing this until he is fully healed.
Saves me on spell slots.
And my mental focus is a much more renewable resource than spell slots. 9, 7, and
16.
12.
That would be 19. Yeah, that did it.
How soon is this gonna be finished?
That's the last of it.
We're done.
Okay.
And of course, during this time, you can state what you're doing if you want.
Indeed.
So your crew has just witnessed the kobold being actually an incredible surgeon, taking this tiger's wounds and, making them much better.
Okay, well, I guess, Pierre is going to be watching all that happened right in front of them, and then he's going to turn to Spyro and say, Well, Spyro, my boy, I think you might just have to focus on the carpentry for now.
Oh dear.
Honestly, that is my preference. So it's probably for the best.
Well, if there's nothing else then, we're burning daylight, so, get aboard, get your things on board, and let's weigh anchor.
Right. And as you all hop into the boats leading to the ship, you see a figure on the shore. 9 tails, black fur, an ephemeral black mist floating as in a spherical fashion in its hands. As it just toothily smiles at you, the other hand waving goodbye.
Do we recognize this beast?
Baron Berrycloth's eyes begin to glow, and Aura Sight. At 5th level, I get Aura Sight spell basically at will for 1 round, at will.
What is Aura Sight? Please remind me.
It is a spell that I'm using as a spell-like ability. This spell makes your eyes glow and allows you to see alignment auras within 120 feet of you, so if he's too far away, just tell me now.
How long far away?
120 feet.
I would say that the boat is probably just outside of that, but I'll let you know anyway. You see a neutral evil aura.
Okay.
A very
you
strong
know-
one.
Okay, very strong. Alright. Could I make, I would like to make a knowledge religion check.
Our religion most of the time.
Yep.
Although I'd wager some of them count as a cult.
Alright.
How strong exactly is this aura? Is it faint, moderate, strong, or overwhelming?
It is overwhelming. If I remember how that works correctly.
10th to 15th, I think, is overwhelming.
Higher.
So...
Baron Berrycloth's eyes stop glowing, and he narrows his eyes as he sees the figure disappear into the distance.
Something you ain't telling us, Berrycloth?
Would you like to roll
Queen.
for what kind of entity you just saw?
Sure.
Sure, we have knowledge skills. What are we rolling for?
Knowledge... You may either roll knowledge planes or knowledge religion.
Let's go with the one I've got a better roll in.
These are identical, so I'm gonna go with,
In the case of Vanguard, Choju, you can roll not nature. Only because it's specifically from your region of the world.
The only knowledge I have is nobility.
Weird.
Yeah.
Baron Cyril Berrycloth. What you are witnessing is something referred to as a Nogitsun. A many-tailed vulpine entity known for taking over the bodies of foxfolk, the resultant thing being a creature of fox-like grace and cunning, and then infusing it with destructive power. Almost always female. Their fur is always either orange, white, gray, pure white, or even pure black. Always one solid color. Known for a variety of things: assassins, spreaders of row, takers of pleasures of flesh and excesses, avatars of ravenous envy and dissolute debauchery, greedy to a fault and just as mercenary. And as you have the gears finally click, he waves one last time with a sinister, toothy, blood-filled grin as he waves and melts into the shadows, as if you'll be seeing them again.
Baron Berrycloth responds, "Oh, just the fall of empires, again and again." Who knows if you even have the view to see.
Well, in any case, whatever the hell that was, we seem to be. Let's focus on the journey.
Is Schlippy even here?
I am.
Because I was directly responding to what you had asked earlier.
I didn't hear the response. I think Discord cut out.
But after Soma gave that big long description, I basically just said, because you had asked what I was seeing that I wasn't saying.
Right.
I just responded, "The depths of empires, my friend. Who knows if you even have the view to see it?"
I don't know about the view of the whole big picture thing, but what's with that fox over there?
Exactly as I said. This trip to Scandinavia will be a pleasant refresher, but methinks we ought to plan a journey to the Far East before long.
I think we should stay out of the business for just a little bit. Make sure our faces don't get over that way yet. Because I'm sure whoever's waiting for us, let's just say things move quick when you're leading the trail.
Well, I agree with you. But at the same time, this is the kind of trouble that's going to find us no matter what.
So just stay on guard then.
And as you finally make it to the boat, the warship, the Deprave Degeneré, you set out to sail on the ocean currents. And as dusk turns to dawn, and dawn turns to first light, you have all been the victims of a diplomatic incident.
It sounded like a wrap up. Have you run out of material already?
Oh, stuff it.
I don't have anything left for this improv session at all.
I had fun. This was fun.
I enjoyed
This
it.
was fun. This was quite fun.
Honestly, you do a pretty good GM.
Yeah,
I mean-
you've just gotten better over time. I suppose some of that comes from streaming.
Like I said during the break, if you wanted to do more art with the crew, I was perfectly open for it. And I guess we did, but jeez.
I need to work on a lot of the stuff before that's viable in a way that won't confuse the fuck out of you all. I have to work on some things first before I
You
can...
gotta keep track of the crew. So.
Yes.
I could share the reference document with folks.
It would help.
That might help.
But for now...
I don't know, it kind of seems like you run out of steam every other session. Maybe you should make this a bi-weekly thing?
Yeah, so you don't overwork and exhaust yourself again.
Well, there's also the, it's our other sessions are a little combat heavy, so maybe this is a good thing that we do RP in between.
Yeah, fair enough.
I agree with that. It has to happen at some point.
Indeed.
Builds the world.
And with this, although it is a few hours early, this is the close of the session 4 of the Gentleman of Four Outs.
An opinion, Lion?
A diplomatic incident.
Yeah. Still not quite. Stupid samurai.
Lost and so far gone from who I was. Now I've become so